Welcome to Veg Networking Canada, where vegan and plant-based companies connect and collaborate. I'm Sandra Namoto, not your usual host, but filling in for Justin Manning this week. First, we want to acknowledge that many of us are located on the unceded and traditional territories of many Indigenous peoples of Canada, and some of us even abroad outside Canada. And we're so fortunate to be able to work and live and be vegan on these lands. We have a special guest today who just joined our network, hailing from Edmonton, Alberta. She is a former food blogger and recipe creator with 40,000 subscribers at the time and dreams of hosting the first vegan show on the Food Network, which was a title taken by Tabitha Brown back in 2022. A single mother to a teenager, she's now venturing to open a vegan, high fiber, quick food service business while filming the recipe testing, launch, and chaos of opening week in a reality style show format. So, welcome to Veg Network in Canada, Jakigh Bearcat.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
We are so thrilled to have you. You're just like, I'm so excited to get to know you more. So, let's start off with the story of what led you to go vegan.
Oh, I was a child. So I was 9 years old. And my mom would always let me pick out a magazine from the grocery store. And if any of you are kind of in my age range, I'm in my 40s. There was a magazine called J14. And so I got it, and someone had shoved a little like PETA leaflet in there. And it was about eating animals and about slaughterhouses. And I was immediately like, it clicked for me. And I went and I told my mom, I said, I'm not eating meat anymore. And she's like, well, you better learn to cook. Like, what do you say to a kid? And she thought it was going to be a phase. She definitely thought like it would just go away. I went to the local library. I got some cookbooks. I read them cover to cover, and I learned to cook, not only for me, but I cooked for my family because I just didn't want to see, dead animals on the table. They still obviously ate them, but I did do cooking. And then when I was 10, and then like only the food part, like I was a child, so only the food part clicked for me. And then when I was about 11, we went on a school field trip, and this will sound probably really horrifying for everyone, but it was to a fur farm. In my town, they had a fur farm that raised chinchillas. And I remember going in and just seeing all these little animals in their like wire cages, and we would kind of reach through, and they were so soft. And I just made the connection to wearing animals as well. And so then there was another announcement to my mom that I wasn't going to wear animal products. And I think she was not amused about that, buying like winter clothes and boots and shoes and everything. But the amazing thing was that she didn't fully support it in the terms of, going out of her way too much, but she also didn't discourage it.
Amazing. There's so many things I want to dig into there. Just like it's unfortunate we don't have, do we have teen magazines anymore? Because I think that is a very smart way to get that info into the hands of the youth. Like whoever did that, like changed your life forever.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. And then you having to learn to cook at such a young age. Like I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I learned in the college when I finally like had to go out and like do stuff on my own. So learning how to cook at a young age, and then yeah, and then like who takes kids to a fur farm? Like what I don't understand. Like
We
again, it's like you were destined to be vegan with all these things that crossed your paths, it almost seems like. So
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, and you're a 31 year vegan, is that yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
because of how young you were. So amazing. We are going to talk about yeah, your restaurant idea and where that's going. But first, what's your entrepreneurial origin story? Was there something before that that yeah, like, led you to this, or is this your first business? Like kind of yeah, tell us like where your journey's been.
Not my first business for sure. So like you briefly mentioned, I had a food blog that was kind of while working, just random jobs. I was still young, like I was in my 20s when I started it. And I went to a vegan potluck, and I remember everything was basically salads and rice and beans. And I thought, "Ugh, there's so much more. Like there's so much more that can be done." And so I really threw myself into creating comfort food, which back then, like 20 years ago, wasn't so much of a movement. Now, I mean, there's incredible books, there's incredible blogs, Instagram accounts with comfort food, but it really wasn't so much a thing then. And so that's what started off with the food blog. It grew really quickly. And I kind of turned into a bit of a, I mean, influencer is the wrong word because that wasn't a thing back then so much. But I just shared my lifestyle online, mostly through my blog. But I did have, I think in 2012, I opened an Instagram account, and then that grew really quickly as well. And so that's what I was doing while just supplementing, working, random jobs and things like that, because I wasn't making a lot of money from that. It was more just I would get free food products like to try, whether it be rice or beans or nutritional yeast or vegan cheeses, things like that. So then I would cook with them. And then I had my daughter, and yeah, became a single mother when she was 1 years old, and just the situation was really unpleasant, and I had to fend for ourselves. So it meant like making a tough decision to just go back to a corporate like job, or go to a corporate job and make money to support ourselves and survive. So the food blog, I just had to close it because I could not keep up with that. I didn't have the time, I didn't have the energy or the resources. And so, yeah, I entered the corporate workspace. I did manage the kind of Instagram account for quite a while. I got a little like notification via email, like, oh, you've been hacked. So I clicked the link to change my password, and that was actually the hack. So I didn't know, and I couldn't get back in, and I tried everything with Instagram to get back in, and I lost that account. So at that point I just said, okay, I'm done with all of this. Focused on, making money, raising my daughter. And now she is 15, and we've got a lot more time and resources, and I turned 40, and I just thought, you know what? I want to focus on things that make me happy and myself. And so that's where I'm at.
Amazing. And you look amazing for your age. What else did I
Well,
want to say?
vegan for 30 years.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the next question is, where is your brand going in the future? So we touched on, you've got this restaurant venture that you want to open along with doing a TV show uh, for that launch. You want to talk a bit more about that? Like, where is it going to be, if you know that? Yeah, and why do a show around it?
The show, because I always, like you mentioned briefly, I always wanted to have a show. Back when that was my original goal, my second tattoos I ever got it's a V and a whisk. I don't know if you can see it. And that was just to remind myself that I was going to have the first vegan cooking show on Food Network. Like that was absolutely my goal. I got it there so I would like see it every day when I was doing my makeup and remind myself. And it's kind of a little bit of I want to have the show component because it's that promise that I made to myself so long ago. Shows, as you all know, have changed a lot. I mean, people aren't really watching cooking shows anymore. They're more watching show style, stuff. And I've got a lot of friends that are in the creative space that are videographers, and I just kind of pitched it to them. I was like, hey, do you think we could do this realistically? And they said for sure. So um, that covers that part of it. And the kind of quick service food idea from working in the downtown core in corporate, like in the corporate world, I realized how many people don't have time in their lives to make lunch, pack lunch, and they're eating takeout fast food every single day, food court food. And it's just not healthy, right? And so I want to create delicious vegan food that's high fiber and give people an option that's healthy and quick. I think the biggest complaint now of my friends who are still working in the corporate world is that lunch costs $20. And so I looked at where can we bring those costs down. First is obviously plant-based. That's the fastest way to bring down your cost on cooking. But second is making everything from scratch. And so, you know, not using canned beans, soaking them and cooking them and doing that. So that's kind of the concept and the idea. It would be very quick, just you come in, you come out, you kind of get what you get. There's going to be two rotating daily options. It's not going to be a huge menu or, it's going to just be, I like change. I like variety. So that's what it's going to be.
I love that. And I picture you in like a financial district. Like
I
you're such a
literally worked in the
breath
banking industry.
of
I
fresh
literally
air.
worked.
I would love seeing that. And so it's like you haven't nailed down a location yet, maybe just an area.
Yeah.
But it would be a place where, yeah, folks can come in, pick up, get out there and then and eat. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Downtown core. The concern for me is right now being really transparent is the city council we have in Edmonton has made like the construction has not been timed out properly at all. And so many businesses have closed in the last year, complaining of construction and people just, you can't get there. There's not accessibility to businesses. So for me right now, I'm working on starting with the show side of it and building up that following, building up the social media presence again, which is a lot, so much harder now than it was in the like earlier days of the 2000s and mid 2000s. The algorithms changed so much. Like back then, it was way easier to grow a platform. And so kind of building that back up and then yeah, like we'll get there. Hopefully construction has eased and then I can seriously get a spot in and get it going.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah, documenting the journey. That's a really big key. This is what I learned when I
Yes.
wrote the marketing book is just documenting the journey even before you open. So you gather that community and that
Yeah.
following, and then they're excited about when you're finally open. So and then I think you mentioned in our email correspondence, the idea is to pitch the show to Unchained TV. And for folks who aren't aware of that, Unchained TV is like the vegan Netflix. Like you can subscribe to it, you can watch it online or whatever device. And if I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like you have to have your at least one pilot done, if not the whole series, and then they accept that. So is that correct? That's what you're planning to do?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. So probably it would be, filming and getting that all up and then pitching it. I've talked to a few people that have pitched to Unchained TV before, so I kind of know the parameter around it. And like Sandra said, sorry, my daughter was trying to call, even though I told her, don't disturb me. It's teenagers, I don't remember. Um, and so, yeah, I think if anyone's not on Unchained TV, definitely check it out. Like Sandra said, it's the vegan Netflix. But what's really cool about it is they do have a range of documentaries and then reality style stuff. I've watched like everything on there, and I think that I would love to see if anyone else is feeling inspired, more people making shows because it is really cool to be able to just have that on in the background or tune in or and it's exclusively vegan content. So yeah, I'm just trying to lead by example of what I want to see more of.
Love it. Yeah, I'm not again fully aware of what they have on there, but I don't think they have any or many reality TV style shows. So, and you like you're made for TV. So
Thank you.
once it goes up, we let us know. We will definitely follow and be watching along. So, next question is, what are some trends or transformations in your industry? So you can answer this from whatever angle, the food angle, the media content creation. But yeah. That's the question.
Yeah, let's talk about the media content creation. A lot of you are business, I mean, you're all business owners, and that's something that's changed a lot. And I think staying on top of algorithm changes is one of the biggest things we can do. And, something that worked for your business, for marketing your business, like I said, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it doesn't work anymore. And there's a lot of business owners that are stuck putting out, like sticking to the same formula of when they maybe joined Instagram or social media. And it's so different now. Like, the biggest thing is engagement, and that's how the metrics are measured, right? So like I think if I could encourage anyone for for modern time social media, it's spend so much more time engaging than you think you should. Like so much more time. Um, I manage a bunch of social media accounts now for businesses and I do graphic design work. That's just how I'm paying my bills currently. Once I left the corporate world, I was in bank management. I didn't look quite like this. I had less tattoos and just all black hair. But I left the banking world a couple of years ago and I just said, I'm going to live the life of an artist. Um, and just learned how to do graphic design and built that community up pretty quick. It's all word of mouth referrals and stuff like that. And so in managing a lot of people's social media accounts, one thing I've learned is you can't just post and leave it. It's got to be that like absolute interaction. It's about community building because if we think about ourselves, what we are drawn to click follow or engage with, it has to be something interesting, right? And there has to be people that I follow that I'm a big fan of, and it's because they engage back. And I feel as silly as it sounds to say I feel seen, you do. And it feels special when you feel seen by someone on the other end or a brand, right? Like I'm more inclined to buy from a brand that engages back with me and answers my questions than a brand that just sends like robot automations. I don't find that very engaging or interesting. I feel like they don't care about me as a consumer. And our money, we are all feeling financial strain at this time in the economy. And so when you're choosing to spend your money with a brand or a business or an influencer or creator, whatever it might be, you want to know that that is appreciated and that you matter.
Yeah, those are such great insights. And the thing is, like what you said, is not hard and
No.
doesn't take a lot of time. Like engaging 15 minutes with people that you're following, I think makes a huge difference. And then
Yeah.
people hopefully will start watching you and
Yeah.
again reappearing in your feed. And then DMs too. Like yeah, just responding on a timely basis. I think I tagged Bloom and then no shade to Bloom. It's a great company in a product that I bought of theirs, but whoever manages their social media wasn't working on the weekend. And so they missed my story and then said to me on Monday, like, oh,
Oh, it
so
expired.
like thanks, but yeah, but like they
Hmm.
couldn't see what I posted. And so yeah, that's not difficult for any of us to do. So I love that.
And Sandra,
Um,
if I can give you a quick compliment, the whole reason why I'm here, even speaking today, is because I DM'd Sandra, and she got back to me and responded and was helpful and friendly and engaging. And I was like, okay, this is a person who cares. This is a person who's present and who cares. And so those are the kind of relationships that really matter. I think now more than ever, when people's attention span is so short, it's like when you can see that someone's actually responding to you and cares, that's who you become loyal to.
I appreciate that. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
because
always on the
you.
lookout for vegans who like I don't know obviously, but who are in Canada because that's exactly who we want in our group here. So I'm so glad you just responded and now you're here. So thank you. Next question is, do you support any charitable organizations or other give back initiatives? And maybe it's too early to say for the business, but maybe you personally.
Yeah, personally, I do. So I'm involved with the Edmonton chapter of Food Not Bombs. Again, that's another one that if anyone doesn't know what that is, definitely check it out. There are over, I think, 2,000 chapters globally. It's a organization where people get together and cook food for community members in need, and it is all vegan food. That's what attracted me to that organization over any other organizations because I liked the vegan food aspect of it. And then local rescue animal shelter, my daughter and I help out with adoption events. And then there's a farm sanctuary just out of town that we go out a few times a year. I wish we could go more, and we just help feed the animals and care for them and hang out with them and get to know them.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll make sure that those organizations are in the show notes for members. And what else? Oh, yeah, that made me think of an organization here in Vancouver. Similar thing. Yeah, they donate vegan food. So it's not exactly a food bank, but yeah, they do sort of pop-ups and things like that. And yeah, I love that because it's like people who need food. hopefully they
Give
don't
them
care what kind
boost.
of food it is. And yeah, and it's going to be vegan. So that's great. What are some books, podcasts, apps, or other resources that you would recommend for other entrepreneurs or business owners?
Um, wow. I don't know in terms of like business. Oh yeah, Business Sense. The one book I think everyone should read is called Email Cemetery. I don't know the author of it offhand. It's basically I think it's 6 or 8 different common mistakes everyone makes in emails. It goes through the archetypes of them and then it helps you change that. So if you're cold calling or you're in sales, a lot of it comes off as ego. Like, I'm reaching out to you about this product that I have. Like, if you're cold calling, no one cares, right? No one cares what you are offering. They care about themselves. And then there's the other one that's the defeatist, like, oh, Sandra, you're probably really busy, but I just wanted to see if you had a minute of my, things like that. So that's a really, really good book for business owners. I think that it's helped me a lot in anytime I'm drafting an email. It's always a little like thought in the back of my head, and it just comes across a lot more strong and inviting and enticing.
Great, thank you. Very practical tips in there. Next question is who or what inspires you?
So many people. I am drawn to people who live outside the lines. So I think a lot of people kind of in the punk and alt movements, I'm always drawn to just because they're not afraid to stand up for their beliefs and for the beliefs of others. And there's a lot of good that I think can be learned from people who just fully live what they say, right? Like back in the day, the straight edge movement was such a big movement. I tried that, but I just really couldn't give up caffeine, to be honest. um, so I'm kind of straight edge ish without the caffeine component because I definitely rely on caffeine. And some of the hardcores don't even eat sugar, but I think what's really cool about people like that inspire me is that in all aspects of their life, and vegans in general, right? Ethical vegans in general, in all aspects of their life, there's alignment. So you can you can look at them and just know that their character aligns with their life, and that's what's really impressive to me. And that's the inspiration that I have. Like a favorite author that I've read all of her books, and she really inspires me too, is Carol J. Adams. Feminist and vegan, and I think the fact that she just goes out there and kind of blazes a trail, or she did for sure, she would be a big inspiration for me as well.
Cool. And her book, I believe, is The Sexual Politics of Meat, right?
That's one of them. Yeah, she's got 7 books.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that one, I think a couple years ago, and I did a review on it. Yeah, very insightful. Yeah, and we learned from one of our past members, special guests, Fred at Bumblebloom in Montreal. I'm not sure if you know him, but he was like, he basically taught me about the straight edge whole thing. I didn't realize coffee and sugar were potentially part of that. So yeah, because I'm sober, so I'm like, oh, I should go and get like those X tattoos. But I didn't realize so what's the story behind like the caffeine and the sugar? Is it just like another way of avoiding corporate kind of
In a way, yes, and then anything that alters your mind or your body, right? So, you can get a sugar high, you can get like caffeine. We all know the definite difference caffeine makes in our system. So it's anything that's like altering.
I see.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Learning new cool things every day. Um Final question here. We'll give you a chance to add in more if you'd like. But big and open-ended. Do you have any advice, lessons, tips, or business or tips for business owners or entrepreneurs?
Yeah, definitely like think outside the box. I think that's the biggest thing is people often play it safe. And the businesses that I have been able to help grow from the ground up with social media and marketing and stuff like that, they always will come to me with kind of like a really safe marketing plan. And they're like, this is what I'm thinking. And I'm like, no, blow this right up, right? Because if you're just the same beige kind of colors that everyone else designs their branding in, and it's all just like safe fonts and, whatever, you're gonna blend in. And so I would say, you know, dare to stand out. That was even part of where I just really lived that with my own physical body. I just thought, I'm going to dare to stand out, I'm going to dare to be different. And what's been really cool about living this way, like I said, I left the corporate world, and to be honest with you, some of those people don't talk to me anymore. I'm too far outside of their comfort zone. And I'm okay with that because I want people who are excited to take a risk, people that I can learn from and grow and, just be an authentic version of myself. And I think that really applies to business owners as well. Like, don't be afraid to take that risk because that might just be the little bit of edge that stands out. I was helping a realtor recently do her brand design, and I said we did something and then it said welcome home, and then she goes, can I say and now leave me alone? Because if you're a realtor, you're just hounded by your clients for months and months and months, and she's like, I want to be left alone. And so we incorporated that into her branding, and it's been so popular. Like, realtors relate to it, they think it's hilarious. Homeowners or customers or clients, they think it's so funny and like edgy. And so that little risk, she could have been afraid to say and now leave me alone, but because she did it, that kind of actually boosted it, right? I've got another client that's in like the lending industry, and so he took his branding and like made it the suit lining of his suits that he wears every day, and he just like takes a little moment to like flash the lining, and people are like, that's so cool. And he thinks outside the box and stuff like that too. So I think just don't be afraid to color outside the lines, because that might be the edge that helps you stand out.
Yeah, that's so great. Like I could talk marketing with you for probably an hour, but yeah, I'm all about any sort of angle that you can take that's different, that differentiates you. Especially like if you are your brand. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to have photos, videos of yourself. Yeah, and I love well, that's a great tagline, leave me alone. And then and then it rhymes too. So
Yeah.
that's bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome home,
that's
now leave me alone.
yeah, yeah. So good. Before we say goodbye for now, is there anything we touched on that like you want to go back to, elaborate more on, or any announcements? I know we talked about the food concept in the show already, but yeah, the floor is yours for anything else that you want to share here.
I think I would just be curious to know any questions, comments, concerns from those that have been listening.
Well, we don't usually have folks coming on video here, but I mean, there's only a few of us, so feel free to come on
Okay.
video or pop your question in the chat. I'll give maybe 10 seconds for anyone who wants to do that.
Yeah, and aside from that, I mean, I think it's just one of the greatest skills that we can have is to be highly adaptable. Things are changing so quick, as we all know, with the tech, and I think just kind of staying on top of it, but not losing ourselves and not losing our voice, and being adaptable and being open-minded. And that's true in business and social media, in our own lives, right? I think that's a skill set to always kind of strive towards.
Yeah, 100% agree. Just how you never know what life's gonna kind of bring at you. Same thing with business, and so many of the people that I've talked to and have had conversations with over the last couple of months are all going through some sort of disruption or change, whether it's AI or something else. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, and that's what it is. You just have to be ready to adapt. Simon, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm curious, what's your plan to sell a high fiber food to people? I feel there's still the healthy people, they know that fiber is important, but in general, the population sees high fiber as not very good. So how are you going to mix that with quick food and to get people to buy it and to crave it?
That's a really good question. So, um, the concept is basically going to be a lot of soups. In the summer, it might be wraps and pasta salads, things like that. Like I said, it'll be only two different options per day, but focusing on heavily on the marketing of fiber over protein. And if we look at expo, like the big food expos, fiber is what's trending. And so we know we're in the protein era. I mean, you can't escape it. Like everything has protein, right? But fiber is the next wave that's coming. And then focusing on the science of longevity, and that is related to fiber. It is not related to protein. We look at the blue zones, they're not worrying about their protein, but they are eating a ton of fiber. And so just standing out on that in marketing, helping people understand that yeah, you can overdose on protein. You can have protein, 5 times a day. But do you feel good? Are you healthy? Are you on, any type of medication? Do you have concerns? Or you could try something new and look at the long-term evidence on health and longevity, and that is high fiber. And so just really leaning into the marketing of that.
Yeah, I think that's so smart because like both protein and fiber are associated with health. But like you said, protein's been like it's been done and people are still like trying to put it in everything. And so by differentiating, I think that's super smart. And then once people have the food and they realize like, oh, I've still got a lot of energy for this for the afternoon. Like I've worked at a downtown office and we're all like drinking tea in the afternoon because we're falling asleep from whatever we ate at lunch. So I think that's super smart. And yeah, and when it once it catches on, people realize, yeah, like high fiber meals are like the way to go. So yeah, super smart.
Yeah. Yeah, and really talking about how long animal-based protein takes to digest and break down in your system. It can take 72 hours. So if you're clogging yourself full of that multiple times a day, no wonder you're feeling sluggish and you need a nap, right? Fiber, I mean, it can get through your digestive tract pretty quickly and you just have energy. And so I think just creating really delicious food. I'm TBD if in the marketing it's going to really focus on vegan. From my understanding, I think it might just be best to focus on high fiber and make that the trend. And then it will be vegan. And I mean, if people have an issue, then we can talk about, hey, this is why we're focusing on fiber, right? But I think that won't be the primary focus of the marketing. Um, and I know some people get really upset about that, but that word just unfortunately does alienate a lot of people. And so I think it'll just be really focused on the fiber and on healthy and the process of making things from scratch and not out of the box or out of the can, right? Like everything will be house made, scratch made.
Yeah, I think that's smart too. Yeah, and we can debate all day about whether, yeah, we should use vegan or not, but it's true. People do prefer plant-based or other terms. And again, yeah, focusing on the fiber and the marketing, I think, yeah, hopefully we'll bring a lot of folks more into the idea of eating more vegan food. So
Yeah,
super cool.
there was a restaurant in the downtown in the mid like 20 2000s, and it was called Soul Soup, and she had three types. There was a meat, a fish, and a vegan option, and it was just one size. You went in, you get what you get. You don't get upset. There was no mods. There was nothing. It was fast service, and I mean back then it was $6 for a soup, so really an affordable lunch, and that's kind of what inspired this idea for the concept is bring that back. A lot of people talked about what that restaurant owner ended up doing was closing that location and then opening a sandwich shop, and then it unfortunately didn't thrive like the soup spot did. So it's kind of just that idea of like in and out, you're quick, you want something healthy, you want something affordable, and then just make it fun and cool music and fun vibes for a little break from your office mundane.
Ooh, I didn't even know music too. Like that's a whole
Oh yeah.
vibe too.
Yeah,
Love it.
it'll be I thought about just like I mean I have so many ideas and I think like way far in the future, but I thought about just having like an open Spotify playlist that people can just jump in and just like join to the jam, right? Like why not? I don't care. Maybe I'll learn some new music and it's really going to be a place with pretty much no rules. So I don't care what they're playing. They can play what they want to play, right?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so many cool ideas. I am looking forward to all of this coming to fruition. So this has been a fab conversation with Jakigh. You can find her on LinkedIn. I think you're at J Bearcat, not with your full name
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
or on Instagram at j.bearcat. So exactly how it sounds, Bearcat. Thank you so much, Jakigh. It's a pleasure having you here in our network, and we'll catch everyone else next time at Veg Networking Canada.
Thank
Thanks.
you.